Yo, yo, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Steve Guy here. It's a 10:18 in the morning, and the markets are open. Um, so we went in 200 shares on MTP, which has been climbing. We got in at 304, so we got in just after the bell. So we've been riding it, and the Ichimoku charts show clear skies. So we've been holding the line, holding the door, as Hodor would say, I guess, right? Kind of recap what we did yesterday. Um, our Twitter put is down $3. Tesla, the Tesla call is down 145. Currently up $50 on the day, with a plus 118 off of this MTP purchase. So that's kind of where we're holding at right now. And just kind of watching. I'll bring over the Ichimoku chart, which is what we got here. It's kind of a system I've been looking into, and I'm not using it as the primary, but I am using it to kind of keep tabs on where we are. Basically, this cloud is how good the trade is. The fatter, the better. So that's looking good. This is a oh geez, don't quiz me right now. All I know is right now is that if green is on top, we're good. If red is on top, we're bad. We don't want to close inside of the I think it's the Tingasen, the Tinkin. We don't want to close inside the Tinkin, and that's why they're green and red here. Red's obviously bad. We've got our what is this called? This is called the Chinku. But this line here shows us pricing. So I'm using this as a kind of a secondary view to kind of show me that things look good in the future. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a discussion on that whole system at some point. Maybe kind of relay and doing a knowledge check on what it is that I do know, which isn't a lot. But hey, right now we are in the green. Green's good, right? So we're just kind of being patient. As far as the standard view that most people apparently prefer, we're looking good. The this 9 moving average is acting as our support right now. We're holding off the 20 moving average, and then we also have our 200 moving average down here. So for right now, price action looks pretty good on MTP. Due to all the other spending we've done, really don't have much to work with today. I was able to purchase 200 shares here, and so that's what we're doing. I'm watching the 5-minute charts here, and they kind of paint a different picture than the 1 minute. RHE was added, huh? But yeah, we'll let's see. Let me go back. Show the 1 minute chart, which we've been bouncing around here, right? Go back to the 5 here. I've got 1 minute charts on another screen that you guys aren't be able to see, but yeah. So our Tesla is down. Haven't even really been able to take a haven't taken a look at this yet today. Which we're just hanging out. I think we're just going to bounce back and forth here today while we wait on earnings tonight. There was a ton of news articles last night from Tesla talking about their new chips and their uh, driverless cars and automation and new taxis and all that good stuff. So um, yeah, it I'm not sure how to read it. Um, I'm just holding the faith that that the news will be at least somewhat good for Tesla, and that we've in fact hit the bottom. I mean, if we go back 30 days and take a look, I mean we've come down. We'll say from here to, well, I'm sorry. This is actually just, yeah. So in 30 days, or actually for what? So this is 424. So for like the past week, we've actually been coming down on Tesla. Been coming down when we get a little bump. So hoping to get our bump and walk away with at least a positive gain. That would be always ideal, right? So that's where we're at on Tesla. Twitter seems to be just kind of hanging around. Had a pretty good drop. I was up, 10, $12 or something before. I think we're just going to pull some earnings out here, and then we hopefully will drop down again. I'll probably sell somewhere around the 38 range. Don't necessarily have to have a home run, but I think we can make a little bit of money off of this. I did some research last night, and I've got a list of, if this pops up on the screen, I will move it. But I've got a list of value, some budget options that I'm probably going to put out in a video, just from what I've been able to research and find, and then you can do with it whatever you choose. And none of it was critical for today, so I'm not going to put that out today probably. But I will go back and check all these, most likely after I get out of MTP, because I'll pretty much be done for the day after that. But we'll see. But I like that this on MTP. I like that this moving average is just really just supporting us real well up through this. I would like to see. When am I going to get out? Man, I'll be honest. For right now, it does not appear like I'll be getting out anytime soon. That obviously can change, and I'm basing that really on that Ichimoku system. I mean, yeah, our RSI has been just humming hot. Yeah, I mean, I see that, but we've kept it together. We've kept it together. There's such a low float on this stock. Forget how many it was that I had saw this morning, but it was fairly low, and so any amount of movement is going to really swing this pricing. So moment. So yeah, really keep my eye. Don't like those, to be honest. Don't like these. So yeah, not a lot of action. I think overall the market has been fairly flat. Let's get in here and check the SPY, see what the SPY is doing today. Okay. All right. So that explains a little bit of what's going on, right? SPY took a dip this morning, right? So I would assume, well, we've already looked at it, but these are 5 minutes. Yeah. Or sorry, that's 1 minute. I would assume that Tesla would take that dip as well. And then as it goes up, Tesla usually will follow. Man, I've got some crosshairs up here, don't I? Definitely don't like those. Let's go over here and take a look. Yeah. Still just holding the faith. Really, until we close below this sorry, I do have to go look, the Tenkan. Until we have to close below the Tenkan, I'm not going to be overly concerned with selling. Obviously, I want to make the most money as possible, but right now we're just kind of holding it, just creeping up here and there, and the level 3 is still showing strong purchases and good sales. So I think it's still creeping up. Let's see if we can find. Yeah, it was a big sell, big money take there. I do think one thing that I'm going to do is increase my buying power. So I'm going to run bigger. I think I'm going to run bigger plays on some of these. Yes, it's bigger risk, but like I say, I put in, I think this was 600 and some odd for this trade, and I've made 114. If I'd have put in, 2,000, obviously I'd be up $200, and man, that's significant. I don't necessarily think that I can do this particular trade every day. May be able to, but may not as well. And so I'm not gonna, not quitting my my day job, so to speak. But yeah, not quitting my day job, so to speak. But definitely will. Okay, so this is the first negative sign that I think I've seen so far. The stochastic momentum is actually down. Our sales look fairly stagnant, like we're going to hold at 360 for at least for the next couple of minutes. Seem to be stalemated at that 360 mark. SPY's coming down, or a little bit. It's fighting. Oop. SPY comes down, everything kind of comes down with it. So as long as this doesn't close below there, I won't be necessarily too concerned. I don't see any twists. Our cloud looks pretty good. I think it's a little skinny. But right now we're still kind of, I think we still have a bright future, is what the Ichimoku system calls it. So I probably don't want to look at this Tesla contract, but can't help myself. Yeah, 190. Ugh. Wait, let's see on the let's see what we got here from the fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hopefully up. So as far as this flag's going, looks like we've been kind of. Oh, let me go fix this here. Appearance and fill up. Okay. So from this guy, I was just counting. From this guy, from this one we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth up, 1, 2, 3, fourth up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the next two, I would hope to see a bump. I honestly think because MTP had a ton of news, they had, geez, where'd it go? Well, there was a lot of news earlier this morning. Don't know where it went at the moment. They beat their Q1 earnings. There was a couple of things I think that they said redirection, refocus on their business, just a couple of different things, and um, so yeah, they had some very positive news. Um, but whoa, whoa, that was a drop, and I'm out. I probably should not have got out, but hey, we're out $78 to the good. So, as we do, fine, fine, fine. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and go grab some coffee, and I'll be back in a bit. All right, guys. There's not a lot going on. I'm going to probably just kill the stream. I will recap later on how the day went, and might go ahead and give my budget options that I'm looking at. For me, and then if you find any information in them, find them valuable, you can maybe take a look into them yourself, see if there's anything in it that you find attractive. All right, so hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next stream. Hey. All right. So wanted to go ahead and give, the midday, what am I watching? Here's what I'm watching. I would not suggest anybody purchase anything based off of whatever it is I say. But I just, doing this for informational, educational purposes to see, just keep track of what I'm doing, and maybe people can learn from my successes and my failures. Anyway, Steve Guy here, and just going to go through what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at this AIG. These are going to be all options. You'll see I mostly have a bullish view of things, so that tends to be the way that I'm choosing. But anyway, so we'll get started with AIG. AIG on the 180 is in an uptrend. They have been riding through these triangles. It looks to be a channel growing right here. They are coming into earnings, so definitely want to warn you about that. But that's a few weeks out. But so what I'm looking at for these guys is, and I don't have that. I don't have that here. So let me just add a second window here, and on this, let's see if I can add. Oh, I cannot. Oh, darn. Okay. Give me one moment, and I will. I will hide that, and you know what? I think this will be easier if I just add a capture, a window capture, and we'll just call this one. And we will do that, and we will capture that page, and okay, it's a little chopped, but anyway, we'll just transition over here to this guy. And so yeah, what I'm looking at is the calls on AIG. I'm looking at the 5-3 calls for around 62 cents at that 46-cent strike, and I'm looking at it riding. We'll go right into here. Whoops, I've already done it. I'm looking at, we'll bring it over here to the day view. No, she looks like she's down right now, but I believe that's just a full pullback. So what I'm looking at is it finishing the day up around 46.4, 46.5 potentially. So even if we go here, we start getting profitable at that 46.5. We make $25, and these are all budget options that I look at. And yes, I am spending $60 to make 25. And I look at the least I suspect that I can make, and so that's what I'm looking at on this guy, is making somewhere around $30 at the minimum, and then moving on up. The next one I'm looking at is CN. Go here, and we will switch. Let me check this real quick. Okay, yep. All right, so taking a look at CN. If we take a look at its 180-day, this one I'm a little more bearish. I'm taking a look at it, but we definitely have room to grow up to 45.7. But if we come back and look at today on the 5-minute chart, one thing that I'm looking for is that we can really hold and respect this SMA. It doesn't look like it's doing it now, but this one I'm sort of leery on. But even on that, I'm looking at the 40. I'm looking at the 40 and a half strike around 57 cents. If it can hold that SMA, this is one I'm very, very bullish on. But I'm sorry, I'm more bearish on than bullish. But it's one I'm keeping my eye on. Obviously, your own due diligence. And what I'm doing is I'm going to produce this list for the midday, and then I will put out a list at the end of the night on what I'm going to look at for tomorrow. And CN is not necessarily one of the high flyers as far as I'm concerned. So we'll go back over. AEO is my next one. AEO midday, it's up around 23.49. If I look at the 180-day, looks like a clear channel up. Oh yeah, and I was going to go ahead and show Ichimoku, which is clear skies. We are above the Tenkan, so it looks good as far as that goes. We've been right above the Tenkan all day. We should be able to move out, but I do like that. And let me go back. Oops. Go back here, and then we'll bring up where I'm looking at. Okay, for AO, I'm looking at the 5.3 call at around 50 cents, 23.5 strike point, and the reason why. Let me get over here to the day. It is it's consolidating right now, doing a little consolidation, maybe a little downturn, which actually works out in our favor if we want to call, right? So I think we're going to probably just hang out around here. We've already grown from open, roughly open. We've gone 3.69%. So if we grow another, 0.5% or so for the day, or maybe to 1%, we're going to be somewhere around 37.74. So on our analyzation here, we got the. I'm sorry, what was that? That was 23.74. Okay, so if we go up to around 23.74, we're already in the money, 15, 20 bucks, and this cost us, $50 investment. So we have that and the potential to go all the way up to 45 or even greater. For me, it's a somewhat small risk, not necessarily one that I absolutely love, but it's definitely one that I'm watching. And if you choose to look into it, go right ahead. But I do not suggest that you purchase anything that I'm showing here. So here we go. Let's take a look at the next one on my list, which is BX. And BX is doing the same thing. It's got a little midday lull. And you can look here at RSI. You can look at the stochastic momentum. It's down. RSI is pointing, in general right directions. We are escalating up, but not to the point of blowing out the RSI. So a little bit of a downturn, but that's obviously, or it appears to me that that's just a pullback. People taking profits, right? Big long runs. What do they say? The bulls take the stairs, and the bears take the window, right? So watch out on that drop if you happen to be looking into this one like I am. And what I'm looking at for that, let me bring up bring this window here up. And we've got clear skies. We are a little bit into the Tenkan. Price is holding. I mean, it looks good. We got a little bit. We got a couple of twists here, so this is kind of a danger area. But we should be clear up up throughout the end of the day. And I'm guesstimating we stop somewhere around 43.3, maybe in the low 40.3 range. And at least that's where I'm looking. Should say it that way. And let's transition back over to here. And for BX, I am looking at the excuse me, I'm looking at the 40 call on the 10th. So the 40 call on the 10th, it's around 62 cents. And if we go ahead and get that, at least for the day, right? At least for the day, and we do end up around the 40.3 range, which would be here. We would at least be profitable in a few dollars. I feel that for this guy here, that we're actually going to end up higher. I think we can end up. Sorry, bring up the 180. Excuse me, 40.6. We're going to test that one. So you may want to hold off to 40.6 before you make a decision, and that's probably what I'm going to do, is to hold off just a little bit on that one. But you know, that is one that I am looking at right now. And this one is what I kind of stumbled upon. Wasn't exactly looking for this, but here we go. This is ticker X, and which is U.S. Steel, I believe. And yeah, it's on the floor, right? So if we get down here at this 16.587 level, even if we have a bad earnings call on 5.3, if we want to wait that long, it gives us a week, I believe a week after for the calls that I'm going to be looking at, which are the 5.10 calls. And yeah, it gives us a little time to recover. And so here's what I am looking at as far as that goes. I am looking at the 60, around the 63 cents, 16.5 strike call. If you want to be a little aggressive, or if I would decide to be a little more aggressive, I might would move up to the May 3rd. But as for now, I'm not. And getting back up to 16 is not much at all. In fact, it's currently sitting at 16. So, you know, even if we fall just a little bit and then go back up, we're going to be good. So, I will pick the. For me, I'm looking at the 16.5s over here, and we'll analyze that. And what I'm looking at as far as us getting to is probably going to be, I've got us somewhere around 16.5 by 16.5, which would probably take us until 426 or so, and if we go to 46.5, I'm sorry, 16.5. Then yeah, we're profitable, making around $22 in a couple of days, and potentially before that, but at least in a couple of days. And then obviously, the longer you hold it, I really feel like this is going to go back up, getting into the summer months, and so that's what I'm planning to do. Like I said, I don't suggest anybody buying anything without doing your own research or consulting a actual advisor, which I am not. So we'll go back over and I'll show you the next one I'm looking at, which is CGC. I do like CGC a lot, and on the 180, we got a lot of room to grow. We can grow up to 59 potentially. We could hit this 49, and yeah, I didn't put in the next one here, but there's a 52 resistance, right? And our support's down here that we potentially can work within. So I'll go into the the 1 day, which is zooming, and I feel like we're going to reach this 48.8 resistance, and I kind of see us in a in almost a pennant there, and so I feel like we're going to get up against this guy today and test it out. If not, we'll get up there by tomorrow. And so that's sitting at around 48.8. What I'm looking at for me on that one is CGC. I'm looking at a 5-3 call. And the 5-3 call, I'm looking at the 48 strike. And that's around 199. That is a little bit pricier. This is maybe a little bit pricier on the budget there, but I think we're gonna pass the 199 and close that off. And we're currently at 48.5. So if we can get us up to that 49 range, we're already at $30 profit. And that gives us until, oops, let me change this here. Change this to 5.3. 49 puts us around the $30 profit, and plenty of time to grow. And yeah, that's why I'm looking at that one. The next one I'm looking at is AMAT. And let's just pull this back out to the 180 view. Okay, so we're in this constant incline. We've been that way for at least a month or so. We got earnings coming up, and we've got a pretty big spike on the day, and it's looking good. I think we're just building out flags, moving it on up. So that's why I'm looking at this guy. I wouldn't suspect that if there was a profits dive or anything like that, an earnings dive, that we wouldn't hit it at least for a few more days. So I could see us making it all the way up into the 45s, mid 45s, maybe even higher. We're sitting at 44.7, so 45.5 to 50 wouldn't be. I'm sorry, 45.5 to 46 wouldn't be out of the question. So I'm looking over here at AMAT. And on AMAT, I am taking a look at the 170 at 44. Give myself plenty of room here. And if we analyze that, and we can get up into the oh, hang on one second here. Let me look at the date. 5.3. These keep changing on me. Anyway, if we get up into the 45s, 44.5, we've got a little bit of room here. But this one has a lot of growth potential, in my opinion. And I could definitely see us getting up closer to the 46 range. Would be an $80 investment, in my opinion, to where we might be able to get to, or where I might be able to get to. I guess I need to make sure I correct that there. And let me bring up this. Flipping back over. I've got two more that I'm looking at that I'm going to put here on YouTube, and we'll talk more later. Or I will talk more later, and you guys can listen on what we're going to look for tomorrow. So Cisco has already had its earnings in, so there's no earnings play here. Looking in, we're doing pretty good. We're going a little bit sideways, but not much at all. Definitely got these channels ups. Cisco's doing nothing but going up. If you look here on the daily, we look to be going down. I think that's more of a profits play, just people taking profits after these long inclines. I expect it will be back up here later today, or we'll at least start making our inclines. My guess will be around 46.79, which would be a pretty decent time to go ahead and find us an option. And the option I'm looking at option I'm looking at is a 510 call at around $1.04, 56.5 strike. And I'll show you why I'm looking at this one here. Is yeah, I feel like we're definitely going to get at least some of our gains back today, if not most. Be sitting around somewhere around 57 and some change, and then we're holding this out a few weeks. So by the end of the day, I figure that back in the green by $10 and potentially hitting 59 before the end of the contract. So yeah, it's looking pretty good in my opinion. So that's why I'm looking at it. The RSI is middle of the field, somewhere around 60. MACD currently is pointing down, which is good if you're wanting to buy a call option. You want those call options to be discounted a little bit, and yeah, so that's why I'm looking at it. And last but not least is BSX. BSX on the daily is definitely on an uptrend. Look at the 180. We're headed up, and I didn't show you the cloud on the last few, but I'm going to go ahead and show the cloud. Here, let's bring this down into something that looks a little more legible. So this is the cloud for today. And yeah, so the cloud from the day, yeah, we've crossed over the tanking, but we are still we're still up. No cloud in sight. We got a cross here, so we're good. We should be going back up later today. So that's why I'm watching that guy. If I bring this down, we've definitely got this straight up motion off of earnings for BSX. Everybody's happy about earnings. If we go back here and look in this range for earnings, let's see, what did earnings do last time? Okay, so we only made it by a couple of pennies, but the next day we had a pretty good spike from my tool is failing me, or I'm failing myself, right? We had a pretty good spike of 5.5%. So if we take that same logic, we come over here, right? That within the next day or so, look, that was there. Here we are. So if we come here and do this here and go up about 5.5%, maybe we'll be a little conservative, 4.83%, right? 4.83% we still have on the day. I think it was around 1.5% to go, at least for the earnings call. So for that's the reason why I'm taking a look over here at BSX, and on BSX I'm looking at a I'm not real sure on this one if I'm going to take the 5.3 call at 36, or if I would put that on out, and pay roughly 20 more cents on that guy, or I may even just go ahead and go this 35.5 at 90. If I go to 35.5 at 90, that gives us until 5.3. Gives me till 5.3, and if we get to that 36.5 mark, which is about that 1.5%, 36.5 mark, we're somewhere around $40-50 on gain for me. So, like I said, these are the things that I'm looking at. Just thought I would share those out there. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, follow the channel, subscribe if you like, and hopefully that you can just follow along my success or my failures, and hopefully be entertained. I'll have the earnings recap later this evening, and we'll go over that and recap, and then I will also recap the options that I'm looking at for tomorrow, and which will probably be a whittled down list of what I have here or anything else that pops up throughout the rest of the day. But anyway, take a look at those if you find any of them interesting, and you do your due diligence and get in. Drop a message down in the box down there in the comments, and let me know what what your thoughts were on each one of those, or in any individual, and what maybe you're looking at throughout the day as well. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed that, and hope I earned your thumbs up. Thanks, guys.